Kickoff starts now.
All right, moving on now. Comeback Player of the Year, which is like the NBA's most improved, I'd say. It's a player that either was just playing poorly the last season, or they were injured, or they were out of the NFL, and then they come back and do well in the next season. So I'll start off with my comeback pick for Comeback Player of the Year, Alex Smith. Just recently, I believe it was yesterday or a few days ago, Alex Smith, a player who had one of the most gruesome injuries in NFL history and was told just a year ago, or just a little bit less than a year ago, that he would never be able to walk again. He would never be able to play again. He was actually taken off the the Washington football team's what's it called, like the IR, basically,
Yeah.
the injury reserve list. So now he is freed to play. And although I'm not sure that he'll get the starting job over Dwayne Haskins, I think he's a shoo-in for Comeback Player of the Year if he does end up playing this season, just because of how inspiring it is that he was injured and now he's coming back.
So I know this is completely unrelated, but this is incredibly insane. Joe Theismann and Alex Smith both.
Oh, yeah, I know this.
Right tibia and fibula. Both happened on November 18th. Both were obviously Redskins. Both were in Washington, D.C.
Or football team now.
Now the football team. Both were on the 39-yard line. Both had a final score of 23-21. Both were caused by three-time Defensive Player of the Years. And both of their left tackles were off. Both their Pro Bowl left tackles were off the field because of injury.
Wow.
Is that not crazy? Because both of those are known as gruesome injuries. Joe Theismann and Alex Smith's injuries are both known as two of the. Joe Theismann never played again.
Mm-hmm.
He was done. His career was done after that.
So that's also why Alex Smith's comeback is so remarkable, that there was an injury so similar to his, and that now he's actually being able to play again from it.
So my only thing to say against you is that, do you think Alex Smith will even play?
That was my main concern, but for me, it was too easy. It was too obvious that if he does play, he will win this award, that there will definitely be a competition between Haskins and Alex Smith. Is Case Keenum even still on the football team?
No, he's on the Browns.
Okay, but still, there'll still definitely be a quarterback competition. But Alex Smith is such a great story, and everyone is in on it, that I could not ignore it.
Yeah, but I agree with you. But the only thing I'm going to say is that, it's such a great story, but they usually give, comeback play to the people who play. I doubt Alex Smith.
Tell me who your pick is, and then I'll see.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, gross. Ben Roethlisberger, the thing, before you even talk, the thing, Alex Smith is I don't think he's been involved in many controversies. Ben Roethlisberger is a guy who has had allegations thrown at him his entire career, so I don't know if the NFL is so ready to give that award out to him.
Yeah, but they're not, what's it called? They aren't doing it based on awards and stuff what he's had in the past. They still give Brady MVPs, and they keep accusing that of him of what's it called? And they accuse him and the Patriots of cheating. They suspended Tom Brady for 4 games and he gets MVPs.
Okay, I guess. It depends how Roethlisberger's playing, because honestly, he hasn't been too great the past few seasons. Even when he's in, he's looking kind of washed.
I mean, yeah, he hasn't been the best quarterback ever, but here's some stats. In his 2018 season, he threw for 5,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, and I think he wasn't that far out of the playoffs.
Well, also, I think another thing, it's like I was saying, how it's most improved. I have to look at historically who won comeback player of the year. But my guess is that it's guys who were never that great in their career, and Ben Roethlisberger is a guy who has had success before. Like Ryan Tannehill won it last year, and before this season, he was forever on the Miami Dolphins, and he was just forever mediocre at best. That's how he was looked at as. But Ben Roethlisberger is a guy who I think a lot of the NFL sees as an above-average quarterback. So if he comes out and plays well, it won't be as much as a surprise as another player.
Yeah, but he's 38. He came off of an elbow injury. I mean, why I think he'll be so good is that not half of it, but if you have good stats, and I think they have an elite defense. They really do.
They do have a good defense.
They
Yes.
have Minka Fitzpatrick, T.J. Watt, and it's not like they have huge holes in other positions. They have a very solid defense, very, very good, a Super Bowl caliber defense. They do. They're a top 3 defense in the NFL, and if that defense can lead an offense with Juju Smith-Schuster, a great offensive line, with Eric Ebron, James Conner, James Washington, all these young pieces that you put them all together. If Ben Roethlisberger has a solid season, he can lead them to AFC. I don't maybe the divisional round even.
But also the Steelers, they've been good. They were good last year, so it might be hard to just point it directly to Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, but they weren't a playoff team. I think that the Steelers,
Yeah, but they weren't a push. They almost made the playoffs. They very nearly made the playoffs.
yeah, but still, I think that they can get past the wild card round. And
they've never been a team who's been able to make it that far, no matter what talent they had. They had arguably the best wide receiver and running back on their team at one point with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and they were still unable to ever win a Super Bowl with that team or make it past really the Patriots. That was their main.
You don't just comeback player of the year. You don't need to win a Super Bowl.
I know. I'm just talking about how I part of my doubt in that Ben Roethlisberger will be able to play well is just because historically, even when he's had great teams, he hasn't been able to do that well. So I don't know if I'm so ready to say, oh, this guy's going to come out of injury and play great, especially because he's old and washed already.
Yeah, he is old, but you're looking at this time. He won a Super Bowl. He's won Super Bowl.
How long ago?
He was way younger, but
he was way younger.
He had a great defense. He hasn't had great defenses those years with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. Great defenses take the pressure off of a quarterback and they make them look better.
Okay, well, fine. Then even if his team does better, if let's say he's having Peyton Manning, the year the Broncos beat the Panthers in the Super Bowl, Peyton Manning was not great that year, if I'm correct. Because that was his final year. Then he retired. He was playing badly, but no one's picking Peyton Manning to win any awards that year because it's clear that it's the Broncos defense. So how I'm relating this to the Steelers is that if the Steelers defense plays great, no one's going to pick Ben Roethlisberger to win some award. So it doesn't matter how good their defense. If their defense was leading their team into the playoffs, then I don't see any reason for Ben Roethlisberger to win an award.
I disagree. I think that you can have a good, like you saw by the Bears. The Bears have a great defense, a playoff Super Bowl caliber defense. Mm-hmm. If their offense wasn't able to do anything, you can't just take that part out of the equation. I think that the Ben Roethlisberger can come back, have a good year, and I think that they're a very complete team. They have a great defense. They have a veteran quarterback, and I think that the NFL likes picking players who come off of injuries for this award.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I did Alex Smith. Alex Smith had one of the most gruesome injuries. And I also just think Smith is more of a likable guy.
But they're not doing it for likable. They're doing it
why not? Andrew, tell me Andrew Luck isn't a likable guy. Isn't like a guy that you'd root for. I just don't think that Ben Roethlisberger is a player that many NFL fans are going to want to root for and are going to want to I'm not wishing any ill will on him in that he suffers a terrible injury, but just generally comeback player. That's such a story. Like comeback player just sounds like a story or a narrative award. And Alex Smith is the nicer guy and he fits more into that category. And even Ryan Tannehill than Ben Roethlisberger, I think.
Yeah, comeback player of the year is about the story.
Yeah, and Ben Roethlisberger is this old, washed, kind of accused of doing terrible things quarterback. So I don't know if that'll.
It's about a good story, yes, but they're never going to give the award to someone who most likely won't play.
Well, okay, of course they're not going to give it to Alex Smith if he doesn't play. I'm just saying. Well, first of all, who do you expect to win the competition in short? Alex Smith,
Wayne Haskins, no doubt about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Well, I'm just saying if Alex Smith plays, then I think he's a shoo-in for it. But I don't know. If he doesn't play, then I don't know about it.
I think that if Alex Smith plays, then fine, but I doubt he will. And they're never going to give the award to someone who plays at most 2 or 3 games if Haskins gets hurt.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
And I think Roethlisberger, like we said, injuries. I get that he might not be loved by everyone, but still, I think he's going to come out of the gate. He's been working a bit harder than he normally does. I'm not going to say
harder than he normally does. His whole thing is that he doesn't do any work over the offseason. So
exactly.
If he does 5 push-ups a day, I don't know if that's really going to change anything.
Yes, what I'm saying is that he doesn't work hard at all, and at least he's motivating himself a bit. He's trying way harder this year. And I think that small progression for him will be big.
If you enjoyed this episode of From the Den, please remember to subscribe, comment, and like this video. Or, if you're a Packers fan, remember to dislike and leave a nasty comment. Click the links on the screen to access additional content.